So you're thinking about moving to South Florida and you want to know what the weather is really like. You may have heard amazing things about the weather, or maybe you've heard it's a complete nightmare. And not to sound like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, but depending on where you stand and what your tolerance is for heat and humidity, both statements are actually true. South Florida is definitely a tropical paradise, and if that's the lifestyle that you want, it might be the perfect fit for you. But if it's not, then you might want to rethink your plans. This video is all about what the weather is really like in South Florida all year round. Now, I'm originally from New Jersey and I've lived here for 40 years, but I still remember the acclimation from moving. I'll also share the best time of year to visit South Florida and some strategies to consider if you're thinking about moving and want to get a real feel for what the weather and lifestyle is really like before you actually move. Boom! Boom, we're live. It's Chris I Go Home Group, powered by RE/MAX Direct. I am your local South Florida realtor. If you're new to the channel and want to learn exactly what it's like to eat, live, work, play, and thrive right here in South Florida, then click the subscribe button now and gently tap the bell to be notified every time I do a new video. I'm only kidding. Smash the bell, because let's face it, smashing things is way more fun. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, or as we say in South Florida, fins up, doll fans. And if you've got any questions about what it's really like to live in South Florida, then leave a comment down below or reach out directly, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have or help in any way that I can. Most other states have distinct seasons with significant seasonal changes in weather. Florida, South Florida in particular, is not one of them. We've got two seasons, tourist and not tourist. And I'll cover the seasonal differences as we progress, but be sure to stick around until the end because that's where it really gets juicy. Today's July 22nd. We're right in the thick of summer and the start of hurricane season. According to weather.com, today will be 85 degrees with a 40% chance of mid-afternoon rain. As a transplanted native, I can promise you it will feel like 95 degrees and there's a 100% chance it will rain this afternoon around 3. But based on the clouds behind me, maybe sooner. Yesterday I went for a mid-afternoon jog, and now with COVID, wearing a mask outside, even by yourself, is a thing. Unless, of course, you're shooting a video like I am now. I also realize I'm a little bit of an outlier. I grew up here. I developed a tolerance for heat over years of playing tennis, soccer, and football outside. I've done endless runs and bike rides training for triathlons. So I've learned to adapt and embrace the suck, as David Goggins would say. There are definitely strategies to avoid the heat, such as waking up early to bypass the sun. But the truth is, I don't miss the grayness of New Jersey or wind chill or the icy, sloggy, frozen winter. Commuting in that sludge is a complete nightmare to me. It's hot in Florida, but there's air conditioning, and a quick dip in the pool or the ocean is an instant cool down. I digress. There's no two ways about it. Summer in Florida is brutal. It's hot and it's humid. I live out west close to the Everglades, and we're about 30 minutes from the beach. Almost every city in South Florida is only 30 minutes from the beach. North Florida is a little bit different, and as you get closer to the border, there's a little bit more seasonal change, but overall, it's not very different. The humidity is a little thicker out west. As you get closer east to the ocean, you've got a little bit more of an ocean breeze, which helps blow off some of the heat. But make no mistake, in the summer, it's hot and humid everywhere in South Florida. The temperature starts to noticeably change in November and December, and it's obvious. One day it feels like it's 92, and the next it's in the mid-70s. Also, there's about 40% more out-of-state or Canadian license plates on that exact same day. Now, this year may be a little bit different due to the fact that we've got COVID, but we'll see. Historically, prices get jacked up a little bit during tourist season too. So restaurants, hotels typically charge a premium, maybe 10 or 15% higher. Just food for thought if you're planning a trip to South Florida. But again, this year will likely be different. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of context. In November, we'll start to have daytime temperatures that are in the 70s with evening dips into the 60s, which is really nice, and it's also the end of hurricane season. So in addition to the cool down, there's significantly less rain. Now let's talk about hurricane season too, because hurricanes are very real. It runs from June to November. We've been very lucky not to have many direct hits while I've lived here. When Wilma came through 15 years ago, it did a ton of damage, knocked out the power grid for weeks. We did not have a generator. And at that time I was relatively young, healthy, single, no children, so a few days with no power was not fun, but it was doable. A few weeks is really challenging. I ended up driving up north and staying with family, but no AC and no power in Florida is a complete disaster. And now 15 years later with my own family, wife and kids, I would never do it that way again. Today you must have a power generator. Shutters, impact windows, and generators are really important to have because although we've been lucky, when the big one hits, you need to be prepared. And make no mistake about it, at some point this is going to happen. A lot of Floridians and people who lived here for a while are completely desensitized to them and don't even start to pay attention until they hear the term Category 4. But in my case, that's only because we are prepared and have done a lot of prep work in advance. But make no mistake, when you hear Category 4 or 5, it is serious business. Your homeowner's insurance will definitely be higher because of hurricanes, and price will vary depending on how close you are to the ocean and the age and strength of your home's structure, roof, windows, and garage doors. Now hopefully I haven't scared everybody away because the truth is Florida weather is really nice. One of the best gifts about the weather is the constant ability to be able to enjoy the outdoors at all times. Many of the best athletes are groomed in Florida due to the ability to train and practice outdoors year-round. You can play golf, tennis, football, baseball, all year round. Ride bikes, go for a run, really anything that you want to do outside. And because Florida is a peninsula surrounded by water, there's fishing, diving, boating, yachting, and water sports accessible basically from everywhere. April and May is when you really start to notice the humidity increase again. Come June, it's a thunderstorm every afternoon at 3. They likely won't last very long, but almost every midday afternoon, there's going to be a brief and sometimes violent thunderstorm. It's not uncommon for it to be raining on one side of the street and not on the other. In my travels, I've never noticed weather like this anywhere other than Florida. During yesterday's run, it was raining by my house and not up the street where I was running. And there was this incredible rainbow which seemed to land right over my house. Now, unfortunately, there was no pot of gold when I got home, and I guess that means I'm a leprechaun. Nonetheless, I didn't get rained on, and it was just a typical summer day. I've got a hack I encourage anyone seriously thinking about moving to Florida should do if the heat is really a concern. Visit at the hottest point of summer, July or August. To be clear, I'm not suggesting that you visit this year with COVID, but I am saying if you can deal with the heat now, you will adjust well. If it's intolerable, then you may want to rethink moving here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe now. As a 40-year South Florida resident, we know all the best places to help fit your desired lifestyle and budget. So if you're even thinking about moving to South Florida, you've got to reach out to me. Give me a call, text, DM, a smoke signal, a carrier pigeon, by any means necessary, because we've got your back when it comes to moving to South Florida. And until next time, peace.